Hi everybody, I'm Nick Bastianelli, the owner and one of the coaches here at CrossFit 248 in Farmington Hills, Michigan. Today I'm going to be teaching the butterfly pull-up. So, go over to the board here, take a look at our laundry list for the day. So, we're learning the butterfly pull-up. First thing, as usual, for a gymnastic related movement, or like gymnastic unweighted movement, is hollow and arch. How that applies to the butterfly pull-up, we'll go over that briefly. Then we're going to talk about grip, how you should be gripping the bar, and your grip width, like how far apart your hands should be. Then we're going to talk about learning how to do the butterfly. So we teach, usually we have people start with arm circles while staying really tight. I'll show you what that looks like. That works pretty darn well. And then you just kind of gradually add your legs. And then I want to show you a really tight, controlled butterfly versus a really broken, slow butterfly. So what I mean by that is like the first one where you're really connected and your midline's tight and really efficient versus where your legs are kind of flying all over the place. And that's a much less efficient butterfly, ends up being a lot slower. Then I'm going to talk about brushing the bar and not banging your chest into it. And then basically we're talking about like the shape your body makes in space. We want it to be like an oval and not super circular. We don't want you to go through the bar. Now I'll briefly talk about two things at the end. There's an ab mat trick again, which you probably saw the other day in the kipping pull-up. And then we'll talk about this in competition versus training, how you would do a butterfly in both situations. Okay, so the first thing to talk about is the hollow and arch positions, which we've talked about multiple times. This is hollow, my midline's super tight, my shoulders aren't engaged, I'm not droopy and really relaxed. And then arch is sort of the opposite. We usually show those on the floor, but we've done it multiple times, so if you have to reference the kipping pull-up or the strict pull-up videos, then you can go ahead and do that. So basically those are the two positions you're going to be in a butterfly, just like in the other two pull-ups. Next we're going to talk about grip and grip width. So grabbing the barbell with your thumb wrapped is much safer than grabbing it like this. Not a good example of this. I actually prefer my thumb over the top. It definitely is less safe though. You can fly off the bar a lot easier. So we prefer to teach people with their thumb wrapped, although obviously I don't do it, so I can't be too hard on people about that. Grip width, same as the other pull-ups, a little bit outside your shoulders. A lot of people go a little bit wider than usual on the chest bar just to make it a smaller movement. If your arms are really close, it's a really large movement. If they're, the wider out you get, the smaller, the shorter the movement becomes. So once we've taught everybody all that, once you've done that, you can hop on the bar. We usually just have people get tight in their midline and start to make circles with their arms. So they're forward circles and they look like this. So when we have somebody do that, we want to make sure that their legs are glued together as much as possible and that it's really controlled. If you're trying a butterfly pull-up, we make people do 5 strict pull-ups before we teach them any sort of kipping or butterfly pull-up, because you need a lot of prerequisite strength to do this safely and to make it worthwhile. So I'll always write about safety here. After we've got somebody doing arm circles and they get the hang of it, we're going to have them start gradually adding their legs so they kind of kick forward. So your body's staying in one piece, but you're using the kick forward to kind of propel you backwards. So we'll have people just practice that a lot. A lot of times people will get butterfly pull-ups at this point, and you might too. They might not be fluid yet. It takes a little bit to get the timing down to the butterfly really well. But a lot of times people get it basically here. And we'll just have them practice that, not even worrying about getting their chin over, just kicking forward will really help like throw you over the top of the bar and get your chin over. Once you've done that, you pretty much basically have a butterfly pull-up, and you just have to work on making it more efficient. So we do a lot of things to get people more efficient butterfly pull-ups. First thing I want to talk about is a really tight, controlled butterfly pull-up, which is kind of what I've been showing you with my legs glued together. I'll show you a couple more really good ones. Okay, so legs glued together. I'm trying to keep it like an oval shape instead of really getting like a loose, disconnected chest to bar pull-up like this. Where you can see I'm getting really far away from the bar on the back. My legs are not connected. There's a lot of power leaks there. I'm really wasting a lot of energy that way. Spending energy I don't have to. So, one of the last couple things I want to talk about was brushing the bar on chest to bar pull-ups and not banging your chest into it. So, a lot of people get really intimidated by chest to bar pull-ups. And they don't need to. It's really only, you're really only pulling about an extra 4 inches, maybe, which you can get by staying tight and just kipping a little bit harder. So it's not a huge difference between a regular pull-up and a chest to bar. So if you were going to do a chest to bar butterfly pull-up, you would really want to just brush the bar, not go through it like really in a circular way. We're always trying to avoid that. So whether you're doing chest to bar or not, you still want to be thinking about that. You don't want it super circular. You're trying to just brush and really kind of travel like in an oval shape. And then 2 last minute things. The ab mat trick again, which we showed you the other day. We were kind of inspired to do that by Carl Paoli, who I think used a towel in one of his videos. But it's how you do that is you put an ab mat in between your feet. I'll grab one really quick. Put an ab mat between your feet and go ahead and practice butterflies. And the last thing was doing these in competition versus doing them in training. When we're in training, we're training our bodies to work as well as possible. So we're training the best technique possible, trying to be the most efficient possible. So when we compete, if you decide to compete, you're prepared and you've developed all your muscles and connectedness, like there's relationships between your muscles, so your body knows how to work really well together. So that's why we do really tight, connected pull-ups always, as much as possible while we're in the gym. When we compete, sometimes I won't stay as connected because I'm trying to go as fast as possible. And that's okay, as long as people know, we always try to remind people, we want to remind you that in training we're trying to train as best as possible so that we're prepared when we do compete. And that's it on the butterfly pull-up today. That's it. Talk to you soon.